What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Trenton and Ryan Sports Show. Welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. I am rocking my this is for the YouTube viewers, I'm rocking my very sexually attractive Clemson hat, black Clemson hat on Halloween, and it'll be October 30th. These games are played. October 30th, book it.
Scary.
So spooky. Right, that's right. Ryan. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good. Just ready for another week. I'm probably going to be stressing out because Clemson, Oklahoma cannot blow anyone out this year. So it's the Cardiac Cats and the Cardiac Sooners. It's been fun.
My favorite part about football season is the pain that it brings upon me and Ryan. As Ryan and me kind of have grown in friendship, this podcast has brought us closer. There's no doubt about it. And I have a funny thing with Ryan, and I do the same thing. Well, I'll text when I'm mad. Ryan, when Clemson or Oklahoma go lose or whatever, he goes dark. It's over. You're not going to hear from him. He could be dead, for all I know. He's not, but he could be. Many people think he might be. I'd actually no, not really.
That's why I'm on this podcast, to make sure people know I'm not dead.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's always good. So anyway, Ryan does this thing where he goes completely dark. Boom, done. He's over. It's done. And I call him and I'll be like, or I'll text him and be like, last week I texted him. You know, Arkansas played Arkansas Peanut Butter last week, so we didn't have nobody. We weren't losing.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma played Kansas and they're struggling. And back in 2007 or 2008, Kansas made the Orange Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And their coach was Mark Mangino.
They won the Big 12 back then, I believe.
No, they couldn't have. Yeah, they lost it because they would have.
Oh, they lost in the title game. That's right.
They would have went to the Tostinos Fiesta Bowl if they would have won it. That was the Big 12
game.
BCS game. Anyway, I digress. Their coach was Mark Mangino, big fat guy, huge man.
Former Oklahoma offensive coordinator.
That's true. Anyway, I sent a picture of Ryan, a picture of him to Ryan, and Ryan didn't respond. I thought it was quite funny. Anytime Kansas wins a football game, Mark Mangino arrives on the scene.
Yeah.
He's the infamous coach that was as big as the orange. You've probably seen the photo before.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
But he's as big. He was as big. What a great guy. I'm sure he's a great guy. I think he's still alive.
I don't
know why he would be dead, but he was a little heavy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know. Hey, what are you trying to say, buddy?
I'm not saying anything.
All right, whatever.
Waiting for your point.
My point is that Ryan goes silent dark and Mark Mangino was fat. Those are my points. I do the same thing, man. I go crazy. I think it's gotten worse since we started this podcast.
Oh, I think so.
I think I just get angrier.
For me too, because I'm not forced to watch it because I have to know what happens for the podcast. Normally, I would just turn it off and be like, screw it. It's a wash.
Yeah, you can say fuck it. I'm just kidding. Bleep that from the record. Bleep that from the record. I didn't say that. Give it. Maybe I should bleep that from. No, and maybe I should stand by it. I don't know. I feel like it's too far. Anyway, I'm trying to take this seriously. You know, this is a serious podcast for serious people. If you're not interested in being serious, we don't want you here.
We don't want you.
But I digress. Where's my pencil at? All right, you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Ready to get into it? Overs and unders. I went 6-0 betting last week. I'm not saying I'm a better, but I bet. Boom. I actually don't bet. I think I would get addicted to it, so I think I'd probably stay away. But I do good at the picking.
That's right.
So, you know, it is what it is.
It's not, man.
All right. Before I get started, though, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, turn your notifications on for always. I just learned you had to do that today. So when you hit the bell, turn on your notifications. Turn on your notifications. Turn on your notifications. So you're always notified when the TNR Sports post on YouTube. And then do that on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen. I don't know. But I appreciate it. Thanks. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your mom, share with your grandma. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Here we go. Troy at Coastal. This is going to be a slaughter. I talked about this a little bit on TNR Wednesday. Shout out to that. Plug it in here. The line's minus 19. Coastal Carolina over under 52. I didn't write any of my predictions, and I should have done that. I'll just do it afterwards. Coastal. I'm going Coastal.
Yeah, I think it's Coastal.
They're going to slaughter them.
Yeah, I think this is a revenge game. They're going to come out and try and, get some revenge after App State. at Coastal D.
Yeah, I like the mullets here. Little scheduling thing, by the way, we're trying to change up the format a little bit next week. You'll see what I'm talking about. But that being said, we're keeping Coastal around. I will never give up Coastal. They are the best team in South Carolina, which isn't saying much, you know. Ugh, Jesus. All right, Texas Tech at Oklahoma. The line's minus 17.5 for Oklahoma. They over under 68. I'm going with Oklahoma here in a blowout. Texas Tech's going to be in shambles because they lost their head coach. Now, you could say that might be a motivational factor. I think it's crazy that they fired that guy. Who does Texas Tech think they are? They're 5-3.
Get Mike Leach back. I don't know.
They're 5-3, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Why in the world would they fire him? They're Texas Tech. Be happy with 5-3. You could be a lot worse.
I'm sure there's something else that's going on. I don't know about.
John Gruden.
Generally, what happens. But yeah, Texas Tech's always been kind of a weird opponent for Oklahoma. Always kind of stay in there, especially during the Patrick Mahomes years. However, they just fired the coach. I think Oklahoma will. It's an Oklahoma,
especially after the embarrassment last week. Like,
yeah, they're going to want to you need some brownie points.
Oklahoma could have won that second half, and they could have scored 42 points in a row and blew them out 42-20 something, and everybody would still talk about the fact, and that's what people are talking about right now. The fact that Oklahoma was down to Kansas. It doesn't matter that Oklahoma won the game. People are criticizing Oklahoma. They shouldn't have been competitive with Kansas. Now, that's not me. People are saying it, though. But I will say, you know, I like Oklahoma. I think that Caleb Williams guy is a good quarterback. He'll win the Heisman next year, I think. But Oklahoma really needs to win big this week. They really need to nail this one because they got some tough games coming up. This is your time. You're going to make a statement. Make people forget Kansas happened. This is your time to do it. This is your time. Now, if you go balls to balls, Texas Tech, and it's, again, people are going to be like, Oklahoma could barely beat Kansas. They could barely beat Texas Tech. And you're going to have that narrative rolling for 2 weeks because Oklahoma goes on a bye next week. Am I right?
Yep, you're right.
Got to shut that down. Blow them out. Make people forget Kansas ever happened.
Yeah, they got to figure it out, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. There you go, Oklahoma. FSU at Clemson. This is insanity. The line's -10 to Clemson. Are they stupid or stupid? Your lock of the week, I'm announcing it right now on the TNR Sports Show. There's some feather like floating around. The lock of the week on the TNR Sports Show, FSU +10. That's like the easiest bet of all time. Are they stupid? Vegas must be just puzzled on Clemson. Every week they're betting that Clemson's just going to bust it open.
Except last week.
Oh my God, Clemson is just god awful. I mean, they're just terrible. Clemson's the worst.
I think Clemson will win this game.
Arch Manning will be there.
We'll get into that in a second.
Oh my God.
But I think Clemson will win because their defense is kind of specializes in stopping the run, and that's all FSU has is the run. So I think Clemson
has to score more than 20 points. They can't do that.
I don't think they need to.
Come on now.
If your entire offense is running the ball, which is Florida State right now, Clemson's entire defense is designed.
Florida State's been a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season, though.
I know because
they turned the corner after that Wake Forest loss.
Is they switched to the running quarterback.
Which one was that?
Jordan Travis or whatever his name is.
Oh, they gave up on what's his face? Mackenzie Milton. Mackenzie Milton.
Yeah, after they benched him, they switched to this Travis guy, who's just really a runner who kind of just throws every now and then. They've been winning, but Clemson is going to stop the run. That's what their defense does. God. I think Clemson has a good shot to win a close game here again.
You think it's going to be kind of like the Boston College win?
I think it's going to be very close. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the wire.
God, Notre Dame, Florida State seems like a half a lifetime ago.
Not that right.
Oh, it also seems like it was yesterday. It's crazy. What are you going to do?
But yeah, Arch Manning will be in attendance.
Is Peyton going to be there?
Probably not. It's probably just going to be Cooper. Arch Manning has said that Clemson is in his top 5 for schools that he wants to go to, along with Ole Miss, Bama, Georgia, and Texas, with kind of LSU on the side, but
If Lane Kiffin goes to LSU, you can wrap that in a bow. Old
yeah,
what's his face is
most
going.
likely.
The Manning boys going to LSU. I think this is an opinion I have. I don't know if you'll agree with me. I think he needs to go somewhere that the other ones haven't been. So I wouldn't go to Tennessee. Doesn't seem like he's even interested in
No,
Tennessee.
nothing interesting.
Here's what I actually think. Here's another layer to it. You shouldn't go to Ole Miss, and you shouldn't go to LSU. Tennessee.
Yeah.
Go to somewhere that
So
has a chance to win, not Clemson. And so it's got to be Georgia, Texas, or LSU. Those are my three, I would think, if I had to choose.
well, he apparently, the insiders with his family, the people who are kind of close to his family,
that
have kind of said that he loves Texas, he likes Georgia a lot, but he also likes Clemson. Ole Miss is really only in there because
of Eli and
dad, Eli went there. They're not really in contention. Ole Miss really is in contention. I don't think he really likes LSU, especially with Orgeron being fired. He doesn't really care about LSU.
I think if Lane goes there, I could see that being a different story.
And I don't think he's really all in on Bama right now. It really feels like it's just Georgia, Clemson, and Texas right now.
Clemson.
I'm not sure how much stock Texas has right now just because they've been losing. Same with Clemson, honestly. He's probably going to go to Georgia. But he said he really likes Clemson. He's been here a couple times. He loves it. It'll be interesting to see what he does. No one really knows where he's going. He has said
that family ain't gonna say a word. You can
nothing.
I believe that there are somebody who said something.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's gonna be a tight knit. It's gonna take a Marshawn Lynch drinking Hennessy to get him out of Eli and Peyton Manning on Monday Night Football broadcast. That's what it's gonna take to get anything out of them.
Oh yeah.
They probably don't even know.
They probably don't know. But it'll be interesting to see. It'd be awesome.
Is he actually any good?
Yeah,
or is he a little overhyped?
I think he's fantastic.
What are we talking, like Trevor Lawrence kind of good?
I would say close to it. I don't think he's as good.
What's like a good comparison? Tom Brady?
No. Oh, goodness. Put me on the spot.
Is he kind of like an Eli Manning type?
Yeah, you could probably say that. I mean,
Jones?
No. Okay. I'd say he's good.
Matt Ryan.
Sure. I'll get
Taj Boyd.
No.
Start just naming quarterbacks. Matt Hasselbeck.
He's very Matt Hasselbeck.
Matt Hasselbeck was just honored during the Saints Seahawks game the other night.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot that guy's
name.
All right, anyway.
Titans quarterback.
I don't know. I think LSU, but we'll see.
Not going to LSU.
I think if Lane goes there, I think he goes.
Honestly, as much as I hate to say this, I want him to go to Clemson. I really do.
However, I don't think he will. I think he's going to Georgia or Texas.
I agree. I think it comes down to Georgia or Texas.
I think he might really like Texas. Texas lines up good because he's a junior, right? And he got another year of high school. And then that Casey Thompson's a junior. He ain't going to the NFL this year. He's kind of trash. So he's going to stay another year. They're going to start Hudson Card over They're not going to start Hudson Card over Peyton Manning's freaking grandson or whatever.
They might give him 1 year on the bench, kind of like.
Oh my God! You don't give the Manning boy a year on the bench. I don't think so.
I mean, they did it with Eli.
Oh, different time. You didn't know what you're getting with Peyton. That was a different era. I feel like they've got too much stature now.
I think you would see something similar to Trevor Lawrence, where Kelly Bryant was the starter for like the first 2 games or something like that, and then Trevor took over.
Hey, maybe you'll pull a Quentin Ewers and just jump in and skip his high school season.
Yeah, that's very possible too.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think they'll allow him to do that.
Yeah, probably
not. They got a good wrap around that boy.
Yeah, they got a little kombucha. All right, there's your Arch Manning. No, kombucha, that's a throwback right there. You bet I forgot it. You thought I forgot about that.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where's some kombucha?
Yeah, oh, yeah. All right, there's your pick Clemson, FSU Clemson, and Arch Manning update. Arch Manning update. Maybe we should have that every week on the show. Oh, my God.
Who's your pick for Clemson FSU? I don't think you said.
Oh, Clemson, but okay. I don't like it. Yeah. All right. Penn State at Ohio State. They're not winning by 10 points. I can tell you that much. They might win by 3, 1, 2.
Ohio
So
State?
no, Clemson.
Oh.
All right, Penn State at Ohio State. Line is money 18.5. The over is 59.5. Yeah, Ohio State big here. This is a wash. If Penn State would have lost that game, maybe. But now it's a wash. Now it's a wash. It's over. Ohio State's rolling. Penn State sucks. I mean, you think they're going to go into that stadium and beat them?
No.
Not after Oregon.
And it looked at. I just watched a video, which I just retweeted on my Twitter, which you should go watch. It was an interview of James Franklin after the Penn State practice. And he was talking about, all y'all, you're wanting to know if I'm going to move on to these other schools. I just want to say I'm loyal to Penn State right now, but there are a lot of moving pieces. And after he said that, I was like,
I just don't think he can win at Penn State. He's taking them to the ceiling that they're at.
He doesn't care anymore.
These teams, I get it, man. I'm here for it. I'm here for like the knowledge and the history and the lore and the whatever college football. Some of these teams' day is over. You know what I mean? It's an era. We're living in a change era. I mean, some of these teams won 35 years ago. Penn State hasn't won since the early 90s
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
a long time. Been 25 years almost, 30 years,
I think Penn State's a fraud. I think they're going to get blown up by Ohio State.
I don't think they're a fraud. They got exposed last week. It's all
James Franklin leaves Penn State for.
Yeah, if he's not like, if he's already saying that kind of stuff, it's all over the crying at this point. The team's going to give up too. So it's what are you going to do? He's going to USC.
USC, yeah.
I think he's going to USC, which will be a good. Their did you see the USC stuff? We do talk about them, I think, but they're saying Jeff Fisher, Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin said no.
James Franklin, Mike Tomlin. Yeah, look, I like Joe Brady was a rumored LSU head coaching candidate, and some people just don't want to recruit, talk to boosters. In the NFL, you don't have to do any of that.
Yeah, that's
Mike
true.
Tomlin just goes and watches football all day, and that's what he does all year round. Freaking, you go to LSU, you go to USC, you're going to be talking to people in LA, these big money boosters, trying to get them to sign on your program. You got to go talk to Arch Manning. You know what I mean? You got to go all these places and talk to all these people. You got to fly out to Louisiana. You got to fly out to California, South Carolina, Alabama, Texas, Florida. That's a lot of work. When he right now just walks into Pittsburgh's office every day and just watches football. That's a big difference.
Good life.
Yeah, why would you? Yeah, that's why Joe Brady doesn't want to do any of that. That's why he doesn't want to go to LSU. So,
don't blame him.
It's not for everybody. Now, it is for some people like Lane Kiffin and James Franklin, who absolutely love every second of it.
Mm-hmm.
They got big egos, man. That's what it takes. All right, Michigan and Michigan State. Where's quick question? Where's College Game Day going to see? Is this good?
Michigan State. Yep.
That's a good choice. Is this on ABC?
No, it's on Fox.
Oh, it just seemed like Fox would love to have that Ohio State Penn State game. Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson are like scales.
Well, I think the main game that they're going to, like the Fox Game Day version, I think they're going to Penn State, Ohio State.
Oh my God. Oh, they're the worst.
Because it's already been like preset. They preset all their stuff, whereas Game Day does it a week before. I think they're going there. Don't quote me on it, but like Game Day doesn't have the rights, or ESPN doesn't have the rights to the Michigan State Michigan game, so they can't, Curb Herbstreit and whoever can't do the broadcast.
Call the game or whatever.
Yeah, they can't call.
It's probably in the morning too. Don't they do a weird thing? Yeah, it's at 12 o'clock. God,
that's stupid.
That's so dumb.
They probably thought it was going to be a crappy game.
Fox is dumb with that stuff. You got to be like you got to be like the SEC and ESPN. You got to be flexible. Now, I hate the SEC scheduling. It screws Arkansas heavily. But majority of the time, so Penn State, Ohio State. Actually, Penn State, that's funny. Penn State, Ohio State's the ABC game. That's crazy. That just doesn't make any sense. So they're going to, I would say, screw it. Just go to freaking Penn State, Ohio State. You're there. They might win. You never know. I don't think so. They'll be blown out. But all right, Michigan State. Who are you going with?
Hello, Sparty. I think Michigan State.
No way.
It's in East Lansing. I mean, Sparty's defense looks fantastic. Their running back has been incredible. I think Mel Tucker is one of the best coaches right now. I think they'll
Hey,
beat
Mel
Wolverine.
Tucker rumored to LSU as well. Fun
That's
fact
true.
for you.
That's true.
Um, anyway, and not so fast, my friend. I'm going with the Michigan Wolverines, the Wolverines of Michigan. I think Michigan State is frauds. I'm going with Michigan here. I like Michigan in this spot. I like Michigan to win big. I actually don't like Michigan to win big. I like Michigan to win it. Remember that block punt they had a couple years ago, Michigan State?
Yeah.
My friend Micah, who will be on the show next Wednesday, said to me that it was the worst moment of his sports career, like watching sports or whatever. It was like the most hurt he's ever been. Michigan will get the punt off, and that's how they win the game. They will kick the punt. Michigan State will run out of time. Michigan wins. Boom. Book it. Book a clean punt this time.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Ole Miss at Auburn. Line is -2.5. Line is 2. My God. The over under 66. This is a low key, very good game. Two teams that beat Arkansas. Barely. Well, kind of. Auburn blew us up. Go ahead.
I think it'll be a fun game. I think it really depends if what quarterback shows up for Auburn. Do we get,
like I said,
performance at Georgia State where he gets benched, or do we get the Bo Nix that looked like Johnny Manziel,
Tom Brady,
against
LSU, Arkansas,
or that too. I think we know we're going to get with Ole Miss. Matt
they've been
Corral's going to make some great plays. The defense,
Matt Corral,
great.
I was here last week or Monday, spreading conspiracy theories, which I do think were kind of true, about Matt Corral. I watched the film of that Ole Miss game. He barely run the ball. That's been his thing this year, is running the ball. And he didn't really run the ball that much. Yeah. They passed a lot more. I think he might be low-key kind of hurt. Now, I don't know if he's better healthy now. I think Auburn has a real shot to win. I like Auburn this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody was going into the season doubting them, especially with Bo Nix, not feeling confident with him. And after that Georgia State game, everybody's like, oh, Auburn sucks. They lost to Penn State. Who else did they lose to? Have they lost to anybody?
I think it was just those two.
No, who was the two they lost to?
Penn State and what's the other one? There's one other. It's got to be an SEC team. I'll pull it up real quick.
Was it Florida? No, Georgia. Because they already played the Georgia game.
Georgia beat
those are. I mean, the Penn State loss, that was tough. And then the Georgia, me being Georgia, you know what I mean? It don't matter who you are, what you're doing. I don't think Auburn's that bad. I really don't. I think Auburn is kind of like Arkansas. They've got a tough shake so far. And, I think Auburn has a good chance. They still have to play A&M, Ole Miss, and Alabama. I think they have a good shot at winning two of those games.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss and Alabama.
I agree. I mean, I think it's going to be a very close game. However, I think Ole Miss has the hot hand right now, and I'm taking Ole Miss to win it.
I think Ole Miss does have the hot hand. The 3:30 game at Auburn might cool them down a little bit. Ole Miss has been on the road. They were at home. They were at home versus Arkansas. They were at home versus LSU. They went on the road. When they did go on the road, it was nasty. Alabama screwed them. Now it is Alabama. And I don't think Alabama's that good this year. You get a rabbit hole there. But I don't know. On the road, I could see it being a struggle spot for them. So I'm going with Auburn.
Okay.
So I think this is the first time we differ all day.
No, we differed on the Michigans.
Oh, that's true. That's correct. Yeah, that's right. All right, Virginia Tech at Georgia Tech. Oh my God. This game sucks. These teams suck. I'm line is -3.5, over 55. Ryan, you're going with Georgia Tech?
I'm
going Virginia Tech just to I like that pick. I like Georgia Tech. Screw that. I'm going with Georgia Tech. I like that pick. I love that pick. Virginia Tech's trash. Their coach is getting fired at the end of the season. Their day in the sun might be over. Virginia Tech's. They might just get relegated. Virginia on the rise. All right, Kentucky at Mississippi State. Oh my God. Almost a pick 'em. Essentially a pick 'em. Line is -1 to Kentucky. Over under 47. Ooh. That's a low over under. I like the over in that game. Over.
Yeah.
I'm going Mississippi State.
Yeah. It was tough for me. I think Kentucky, I think it's going to be an ugly game, but I think Kentucky wins it. I think it'll be very close. And I think Mississippi State will look like the better team, but Kentucky will get the win.
Oh, there you go. I like that. Some good analysis there. Awesome.
Yes.
All right, Washington State, Arizona State. Oh my God. The line is minus. Oh man, I want to make a joke so bad. Line is minus 15. Arizona State. The over-on is 52. Washington State collapsing. I'm going to Arizona State. Yeah, thank you for putting that in there. You're actually typing that in. Thanks. I appreciate that. It's saving me some time afterwards. Arizona State, easy.
Yeah.
The coach should have got the shot. What's he doing? I couldn't help myself. I had to make it. What did I don't even know how to do a good Bill Walton impression.
You
got the shot, man. I've been taking shots my whole life. I've been doing all kind of crazy shit. You think this affects me? All right, that was my Bill Walton impression. Hope y'all enjoyed that out there in the masses.
Yeah, I think Arizona State's going to be Washington State.
Washington State hasn't been
insane. Washington State hasn't been insane since Mike Leach left. So.
That's a good point, though. Like whatever in that vaccine couldn't kill Bill Walton. Good God, he's probably put every substance in his body that's ever existed to man. So he survives. He survived that. There ain't no vaccine gonna kill him. Bah! All right. Anyway, sorry. All right. All right. UCLA at Utah. The line is minus 40 Utah. This is a weird game too. I don't know how I feel about this. You think I'm going with UCLA? That's a little premature. Actually, you might not believe it. I actually like Utah in this game.
Oh, really?
Which that Utah, yeah. I think this game may decide the Pac-12 South. Hey, if Utah loses, UCLA beats them for some reason. Arizona State, I think, takes the lead back in the Pac-12 South.
Yeah, crazy.
That's a bad division.
Utah's got a lot of I guess things to play for. I don't know. I just feel good about Utah. They've been playing really well. Every time we think they're going to lose a game, they just come out and do it. UCLA, they're just not taking games like they should be to be a dominant force in the Pac-12 South, which no one is. I'm going with Utah.
I think UCLA is only going to get better throughout the years. You know, they're showing signs of improvement. They were awful these past couple of years. That's one thing we think about. Like I sometimes think about with Arkansas. It's so easy to get those expectations. You know, it's hard to also remember that your team was my team was god awful last year. You know, they've been god awful for years. You know what I mean? So it's easy to sit here and be like, well, you know, I wish we could have beat Auburn. I wish we could have beat Ole Miss. Man, be thankful that you were competitive because a couple years ago, they were blowing you out by 50 points. It was a slaughter. The guys weren't fighting. You sucked. So take it as it is, UCLA. It's only going up from here. It can't, you know what I mean? Chip Kelly, good coach. They'll be all right. All right. Louisville. I like Louisville heavy here at NC State. Lines -7, over under 59. Louisville surging. And that loss last week to Miami, not great. I know it's at NC State. I think Louisville's going to beat Clemson in a couple weeks. And I think NC State loses to Louisville now.
Yeah. Louisville has been surging a little bit. However, I still feel a bit more confident about NC State. They just seem to be I don't know. I don't think this is going to be their year to win the ACC by any stretch of the imagination.
No, Pitt's winning it.
Yeah, I think Pitt or Wake Forest.
Or
if you didn't take Wake Forest, Trenton.
What do you mean? We haven't gone to the Wake Forest game. There's no Wake Forest game one here.
I know, but you're always like, oh my gosh, Wake Forest deserves to be in the playoff consideration.
Oh no, I think Pitt's actually a good football team.
I do too, but
that win versus Tennessee they had early in the season looks better and better and better every week. Tennessee plays a football game, and that makes me think that's what scared me so much last week because Tennessee looks so legit now, and that offense is so explosive, and that Pitt outscored them. I don't know. That's just science impressive.
I'm taking NC State. I think it's going to be a very close game, but and I think it's at NC State that helps their case a little
Yeah,
bit.
it does. Yeah. All right. Texas at Baylor. Lines -2. Man, that's a shame for the state of Texas. They should be ashamed. The line is -2.5 for Baylor. Over under 62. Baylor. I like Baylor here. Baylor had a quicker turnaround. It's amazing how quick their turnarounds are. They went from being real bad. Matt Rule was there and they were really good. And then really bad again. And now they're really good again. That's incredible. That's a shout out to Matt Rule and Dave Aranda, how great of a coaches they are. And whoever that was there between those two is god awful. Was it Matt Aranda or did he just inherit a bad football team and just grew them? Is that accurate? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was Dave or Matt Rule. He left the Panthers.
And I guess he only had one bad year because Matt Rule, they went to the Big 12 championship game in 19, right?
Yeah.
And then they lost to y'all. And then
so last year was really their only bad year.
I mean, it's incredible. They need Texas. Texas should be ashamed that Baylor. No offense to Baylor people. I'm sure it's a great school, but you're the University of Texas and you're down 2.5 to Baylor. That should.
Baylor's clearly a better team, I would say too.
Yeah, that's just a shame. Now Texas does have one, in my opinion, the best player in college football on their football roster. He should win the Heisman. He won't, but he should. I like Bijan Robinson a lot. I think he's a great running back. Their offensive line's not that good. If he's that good without their offensive line being any good, what does that say about him? That's what I'm going to say. I'm going with Baylor. I like Baylor.
Yep, I'm picking the Bears too. It's in
Baylor.
It's in Baylor, so that helps a lot.
Should be 19.
Texas just seems to kind of just diving down recently, so I'm going with Baylor.
Let me see what time this game is. Might affect my pick.
I think it's at night.
I don't even see it on here. What are you doing, Baylor? I'm sure it exists at some point. It might not be at night, Ryan. It might be during the day.
Oh, yep, you're right. 12.
Yep, 12. I still like Baylor. Because they get up for those Texas crowds. Everybody gets up for Texas, whether they're good or not. People just get up for it, All right. SMU at Houston. I like, that's hot. I like game. That. The line's -1 to Houston. The over under 62.5. They should have went to College Game Day. Should have went. If they had any nuts, any balls, they would have went to this game. They always like doing a crappy Power 5 school anyway. So why? I mean, Group of 5 school anyway. Should have won.
If SMU wins this week, they will go next week
to Cincinnati.
SMU.
I think they'll probably go anyway. They're probably no good games next week anyway. I would probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
-1 to Houston over on 62.5. You're going with SMU?
Mm-hmm. Taking the Stangs.
I'm going with Houston.
Okay.
No, I'm going with SMU. I mean, I'm SMU. I switched.
Okay. I think SMU's got a lot of offensive firepower. They've been looking great. They've shown they can get stops on defense. They're not the best defense, but they can get some stops, which is enough.
Houston's good, but let's calm down a little bit.
Let's be realistic. SMU wins.
All right. Florida versus Georgia. This is gonna be a slaughter. Yeah. -14.5. Over on 51. Ryan's going with Georgia. I'm going with Georgia. There's not much to say here. Georgia's
going with Georgia.
Florida's crumbling.
Yeah.
They're not any good. They lost to a bad LSU team. They lost to Kentucky. I think their season was on that Alabama game. They lose to Alabama. I think it was all over. I think the players lost faith. I just think that's kind of how it fell apart. Might be true, might not be, but that's what I think what happened there. All right, Florida, Georgia. I'm going with Georgia. From classy tailgate game or something like that. The fanciest cocktail party in football. Other than the Grove. All right. UNC at Notre Dame. Ugh, God, two awful programs. This game hurts me to cover it. 3.5 Notre Dame over under 62.5. Yeah, I like UNC as well. You can write me down for UNC. UNC big. Notre Dame's overrated. They just need Notre Dame needs a humbling, and I think it comes this week. I like that.
Okay. Yep. I think UNC as well. Sam Howell's heading pace, so I think the Tar Heels win.
Yeah. It's hard to go off of what they did in the very beginning of the season. After that loss to Georgia Tech, I think they turned it around pretty good. Yeah. All right, Virginia at BYU. I'm going with B. 2.5 BYU over under 63. I'm going with Virginia. I like Virginia, so
Yeah, I like
I think
Virginia
they
as
could.
well.
I don't know if they played Pitt yet. They might have, but
Okay.
I think they could be competitive that they haven't with Pitt.
Yeah,
And
Virginia's quarterback has thrown the most yardage
yeah, 6-2.
out of
Yeah, go
any
ahead.
quarterback in all of FBS, which is incredible. So Virginia's good offense. I think they'll be good.
Man, Wake Forest might be better than people think. All right, Virginia's beating William and Mary, Illinois, North Carolina. They lost to North Carolina. They lost to Wake Forest. They beat Miami. They beat Louisville. They beat Duke, and they beat Georgia Tech. So I'm not making any. Well, they would need Pittsburgh to lose again, but they could beat Pittsburgh. And if Pitt lost again, they would win the ACC Coastal or Atlantic. Whatever. Coastal. Okay, sorry. All right. What do we got? Last game. Here we go. San Diego State undefeated at Fresno State. Who you going? Fresno. I'm going Fresno as well. Lines -1, and San Diego State in the over is 46.5. Over. Two offenses can score. San Diego State does have good defense, but we're talking about Jack Hayner here. Should win the Heisman.
Yeah. I think this will be a very good game. Very underrated game, honestly. I'm surprised no one's really talking about it. I mean, these are two very good teams right now.
If game day had any balls, they would have won here.
You think so?
No. But it is a good game.
Yeah. But I think Fresno wins. I don't have a lot of faith in San Diego State just yet. I think if they win this game, I have more faith in them. But Fresno State.
What are you gonna? Yeah. I like them. I like that. Let's see. All right, that's the last of the picks. I've got the FBS schedules pulled up here. I'm gonna look at some stuff here. The lightest game this week is 10:30. Lame. Where's my 11:59 start? What do we got? Washington at Stanford and Fresno State at San Diego State. Fresno State loses one game, and they lost 2 games. Who did they lose to?
Who?
Fresno State lost 2 games.
What was the Oregon?
They lost to Hawaii. Good Lord.
Jeez.
That's not good. Hey, what's at Hawaii? That's a tough environment. There are 1,000 people in the stands. All right, that's the end of the show. Ryan, any last thoughts? Any questions, concerns?
Hoping Arch Manning commits to good
No
old
way.
Clemson after this weekend.
No way.
Hey, you got the Clemson hat on. You got to support.
Like, I'm realistic. You think he's going to come in after one game? Get out of
He
here.
might. He's been there several times.
He's going to Alabama.
He's not going to Alabama.
He's going to Alabama. I'm telling you. He's going to Alabama. He's going to Texas A&M. He's going with Jimbo. Jimbo. I'm just kidding. Where's another stupid place he could go to? That'd be funny.
USC.
I was thinking USC. I'm talking about the one in California, not the one in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't think he could go. I don't think USC could compete with
They
him.
bring back Clay Helton just.
I don't think Chad Morris 2.0 out in Columbia can compete with
I think he's Chad Morris 2.0.
That's my hot take of the week. Oh my God. Hey, I heard one of the podcasts I listened to, another podcast I listened to about the SEC said, is this Chad Morris 2.0?
He's what, 4-4, 4-3? Like, come on.
No, listen, he's lucky to have any wins. He barely beat East Carolina. He barely beat Vandy. And he barely beat whoever the hell they almost barely beat. I don't remember who it was. Who was it?
Why are you all Southern on me right now?
Yeah, I wanted to switch it up for the end of the podcast.
Okay.
Who was it? Who was the other team they barely beat? South Carolina.
East Carolina.
Troy. They're terrible. They're just the worst. They're no good. And now they're starting quarterback. Well, the other starting quarterback, they had 2 of them. Can barely beat Vanderbilt. Are you kidding me? I did hear the thing. South Carolina and Texas A&M, they were talking about that game. I'm going to bash South Carolina here at the end of the podcast. You know what it is. I don't bash them, but, this is what I hear in the streets on a podcast. They're like, these two teams are heading in opposite directions. South Carolina, but he did make a good point. At the end of the, you can say what you want about South Carolina, and they are kind of trending downwards. But if you can say what you want, they can do whatever they want. They could have lost every game this year. if you would have told them they would have a chance to beating Clemson at the end of the year, they would have took that any day of the week. Now, that's a fact. And they have a chance to knock off Clemson, and Shane Beamer could get blowed out by Missouri, Florida, and somebody else they play. They get blowed out by those three teams. I don't remember the other ones. Auburn. That was Missouri, Florida, and Auburn. Oh, Auburn's going to destroy them. And they beat Clemson. It won't matter. They won't. They really won't. Now, it would be awesome if they beat Missouri, lose to Florida and Georgia, Florida and Auburn, and then Clemson has to be the win for them to get to a bowl. Clemson beats them. That'd be good. Oh, my goodness. That put me in a good mood. That'd be awesome.
I'm nervous about that game. I'm just nervous about every single game for Clemson.
If they lose to South Carolina, that's going to be a disaster.
I'm tired now, though.
Yeah, oh my God. I think that might be a little much, but they might they'll get blowed out 3 years in a row like Will Muschamp did. But you know what? I digress.
Got blown out 5 years in a row and didn't help.
That's true. All right, enough of that madness. Ryan, I'll holler at you later. This has been a great podcast. I'll see all y'all later. Make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your grandma. Turn on that notification bell. Turn on all notifications so you're notified every time we post a podcast. I love you all. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing. TNR, we're out. We ouchie.